Now that we have an incredible, I don't want to spoil anything, and now we have an incredible Super Mario 64 speed run in the 16-star egg percent category, I think it's time to do a tier list of the stars that are available. Now, you'll notice there's 16 stars, and yet there's 21 things on the list. What are the 21 things on the list? Well, you have the 16 stars, and then you also have backwards long jumps. You also have the 3 Bowser levels. That takes us to 20. And then you also have Mips. That's 21 right there. So we got, this is the whole tier list. Thank you, Solar Dropper. I hope I got the name right for making this up, especially on short notice. What's my criteria? There's a few, okay? There's a few criteria that I have here. One would be, how impressive they are to do or watch. Solar Parade. Thank you. Thank you. I wasn't it on Twitter? Are you like Solar Dropper or something? Or was I reading it wrong? Probably reading it wrong would make sense. But how impressive is it to either hit or watch? That's a big part of it for me. Annoyingness, difficulty. Like annoyingness is going to take a star down for sure. And I think that's basically it, okay? So let's get started. We'll do it in the order that they were listed here, okay? This is it's a little tiny, but it's the star you get when you knock the vulture off of his post. Or you knock him out of the air and get his star. Of the shifting sandland stars, I mean, this is boing if you get boing, but I don't do boing yet. This star doesn't really pog you up that much, Like it's just the way I do it, at least with my backup plan. This is more like a C tier star. At least you get to grab the box and go boing, boing, boing. That's kind of fun. I don't dislike it. It's pretty consistent. I would give it a C though. Me personally, I don't necessarily think this one's like a big deal. But if you do the boing, is probably in like the A tier, maybe even the S tier, but it's very high risk for sure. Now, I don't even think this is like negotiable. BLJs might be the defining element of the Super Mario 64 16-star egg percent category. I remember it was probably like 2008. My friend or my roommate in college showed me a video. He was like, "You got to see this. Did you know you could beat Super Mario 64 without getting like 75 stars?" And then he just showed me a video of a guy. We're like, "What's he going to do when he gets to the staircase?" He just turns around and goes, "Wow, wow, 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 wow." And that was like it was the first time I had ever seen anything like that in my life. It's so much fun to watch. It's a little risky, and yet at the same time, it's like it's the glue that holds it together, and you got to do it 2 times. It's such a satisfying release of tension when you get it right. It's got to be in the S tier. This was like the honey that got me playing the game in the first place. Was like, is it capable of doing this? Am I capable of doing this? We got to try. You're not wrong. It helps with the pacing too, because as soon as you get to the top of that second staircase, you're going right into the final boss fight. It's crazy, dude. It's like the on your left moment from Avengers Endgame. Okay, Cannonless. Cannonless is the star that you get by doing, well, depending on how you do it. On Thwomp's Land, you do a series of coordinated ballet maneuvers and camera tricks in order to get yourself a star that clips through the wall. I think of all of the Thwomp levels or the Thwomp stars, Cannonless is like, it's the definitive one. But the only thing I'm going to say, the first time you see it, it's insanely impressive because you never know if you're going to get it. You can have some confidence, but you never know if you're going to get it until you actually see Mario throw up the deuces, right? So personally, I think that pogs it up for sure. However, it's also kind of easy. Like, it's no longer impressive to see somebody do it, but I still think you got to put some respect on it and throw it in the A tier. Chain Chomp Star is honestly the single greatest benefactor of the practice that we did today, because prior to learning how to do the bomb clip that allows you to just explode yourself through the door, we probably would have placed the chain chomp in the D tier. It was one of my least favorite stars in the game. You got to deal with the camera control. You got to see Mario's shadow over top of the post. Like it's a disaster. And I screwed myself up on it many times. It was very slow and very annoying. But the bomb clip certainly takes it to the next level. I think if you have to do it the normal way, then you're actually like in the D tier. But if you get the bomb clip, it's got everything, you know? Weird movement. You grab the bomb, and then he just starts moonwalking backwards. Then you're like, I don't need you anymore. You cast it off. You find yourself sneaking into prison. It's like, I wish I could remember the name of the guy who was on Prison Break, because that would have made for a better punchline. But Michael Scofield, that's it. It's like a Michael Scofield TV show. Chris Redfield, pretty close. So I think, honestly, now, maybe there's a little recency bias, but I'm like, I kind of think that Chain Chomp is like an A. I look forward to it now. I look forward to seeing somebody do the bomb clip, especially now that I know how to do it as well. I think it's an exciting star. Bowser's 8 red coins. It's maybe the easiest star in the entire run, but there's still a little bit of fear in my heart. But it's also like, in all of the runs that I've ever done, I don't think I've died on 8 red coins, which should just tell you the stakes are pretty low. Like, no matter what happens, you know you're coming out of there with a star. It might cost you 5 seconds. It might cost you 10 seconds. It might save you 5 seconds, but like there's other things that are more exciting. I think this has got to go down here in the D tier. This one is Elevator Clip on Hazy Maze Cave. Elevator Clip is straight up like one of my favorite stars in the game. Much like BLJ's, it's a glitch that's fun to watch, even though I know that it's easy to do consistently. Like, when I watch somebody else speedrun the game and they get the elevator clip and Mario gets a lung full of blue sky, it just feels good, you know? And I think it's impressive to see. Now, it maybe not as impressive as Cannonless, but it's also like a little bit more elegant than Cannonless. Cannonless, you know, you're like, fall onto the ledge, get up, backwards jump, punch, left, walk down, right, left, press up, go down. Like, that's not elegant. That's like brute force. That's like a break and enter. You know? And the elevator clip is like a ransomware. It's like you left a USB key in their parking lot or something like that, and they plugged it into the CEO's old compact computer. Like, it's just... It feels like spiritual in that way. I gotta put it in the S tier. It's one of the ones that I most look forward to. It also comes like halfway into the run, and it's always nice to get like a quick one. You know what I mean? Like to just have one that you're like, I can build some easy confidence. I love it, man. What are you? This is Hazy Maze Cave bouldering star, I think. Hazy Maze Cave. I mean, all the stars on Hazy Maze Cave are pretty fun. Oh, this is Hockey Stick? Okay. I think Hockey Stick is the least fun star on Hazy Maze Cave. You do a side flip, a wall kick, you clip through the ceiling, and then you do a long jump. It's more difficult than the boulder star, but it's like, I don't know, I just find it less satisfying. But I can't be upset with it. It's all of the Hazy Maze stars are pretty good. You know, this one is like, this is the flare, this is like the technical one, and then the boulder one is just like, hey, you know, it's just like getting on the bus and getting off on the right stop, you know? This is just like basic competency, but when you do it, you're like, I'm kind of the man. So I like them all, but let's put something in the B tier. This is get to the top of the tower on Thwomp Land. I don't want to be a hater. Oh no, wait, this is Owl. This is Owl. I'll be honest with you, Owl for me is kind of a C. I don't do Owlless, so I don't have like I don't have any incredible tech here, but just riding the Owl up to the star and then like ground pounding at the right time, not that exciting. There's the reason it's not D is like this one is almost impossible to mess up so bad your run needs to be reset. On a bad day, you could get this one wrong. And then be like, oh no, I've just cost myself 20 seconds. So I think at least there's some stakes to this one. But it's not that exciting overall. You should learn Owlless next. I hear it's really hard. One of the things I like about the bomb clip is that if you mess it up, you still have a way out, and you're also at like the very start of the game, so the reset is not that punishing. But maybe. I said we'd learn one new trick a day. Even we're on one today, so we're already on pace. But we're about to take 2 days off from the stream, so I'm gonna have to learn 4 tricks on Monday. I think that's like all the tricks for the rest of the optimization. I don't know. I could learn some life pro tips, like, you know, always keeping an empty body wash bottle around, so that when you buy new body wash, you pour half of it into the old bottle and then fill both of the bottles up to the brim with water. And then, hey, look at that. You just doubled your soap. Incredible. Anyway, Penguin Star. I actually love Penguin Star. Mostly, this is a little difficult and also hilarious to watch because it's at like full speed. I'm so bad at this, but I gotta put it in the A tier. There's just something about it that's so fun about like when you nail the penguin slide perfectly and you slide like right into like the feet of the mom and you're like, check it out, I brought your baby. Why didn't you do that? This is a good one. This is triple jump or... Oh, and don't even get me started on the do 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 do. It's got some great music, the perfectly appropriate music for the situation. This is triple jump or silly kick up the tower. I mean, boing is the star of shifting sand lands. If you land it, if you do it the coward's way, it's kind of just boring, you know? It's not that exciting. But I like this. This is like one of the fastest stars in the game if you do it right. And I think that in and of itself gets you pogged up. The fact that you can go like from just starting the level to touching the star in 10 seconds is free dopamine. So I'd put this in the B tier, honestly. I enjoy it. I enjoy it more than Elias Pettersson's hockey stick for sure. Wall kicks on like boulders and wall kicks on Hazy Maze Cave. I'll be honest. It's kind of it's like the definition of a B tier as well. I always look forward to it because it's fairly easy to do, and you get to do some long jumps, you get to do some movement, and then just doing the wall jumps is kind of satisfying. The camera doesn't screw you up that much. Now, I gotta tell you, it might surprise you, but I feel like one of the hardest stars to place is the sub. Because it's hard to, and maybe you don't have to, but it's hard for me to separate the star on the sub, which is like 40 seconds of swimming followed by 2 jumps, from the music, which is like the best music in video game history. But I really, like, one of the things I've said many times that I think is, like, so cool about the 16-star speedrun is that it's got pacing. Like, you got the first half of the game, you almost play it, like, not for real, but you get 8 stars legitimately. It builds you. That's Act 1. You fight Bowser, you kill him because he moves in a circle at like 0.1 meters per second. Then in the second part of the game, things get a little goofier. You know, you're doing some funky physics stuff. You're getting some, you're doing some boings maybe. You're doing some hazy maze caves. You're grabbing a rabbit and using the rabbit to clip through the door. And then once you finish with that, it goes, okay, you just did Mips clip. Take a deep breath and, just enjoy taking a little soak. So I do like the star. I got to be honest, having like 40 seconds to just collect your thoughts, a very welcome thing in a run like this. But the star itself is not that impressive, but the experience of getting the star, that's what it's all about, man. It's about the journey, not the destination. Top of the tower is probably my least favorite star on Thwomp's Caverns because learning the side flip to get on the elevator quick is annoying. One day we're going to get there, but this is the star I least look forward to, for sure. And you have to do it like last so that the owl doesn't show up too early and cost you even more time. So there's no stakes. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like if you screw up the side flip, like it's good for the run in general because you don't die, but it's not like anybody's ever going to be there. It's almost like a pedestrian form of BLJs, but without the whoop, 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 whoop. Instead, it's just like, oh, I missed it. Oh, I missed it. Oh, I missed it. Oh, I got it. I don't pog up that much for this. I would actually put it in the D tier, but for different reasons than the 8 coins. This one is like it's a friction point for me right now. Now this star is two very disparate elements with disparate enjoyment levels. Running off of the start of the level, then DIing yourself towards the snow, air kicking and landing, very satisfying. I enjoy it. Trying to have the confidence to navigate this tiny ice bridge with the worst camera in video gaming history, I find it very stressful. Maybe I still have some more tricks to learn. Don't get me wrong, but for now, I would put this one in the C tier. I really do enjoy the start of it. The end of it, a little stressful, but it's not all bad. Now, the contrast to like the getting to the top of the tower, I actually very much enjoy killing Thwomp. Like I like doing either the long jump skip to the elevators or the triple jumper side flip dive onto the floating green platform and then fighting this guy. It's fun. There's a little tech. You can clip through him. He also does go, which is very true. I wouldn't say it's an A tier star. Like it can't hold a candle to bomb clipping Cannonless or the Penguin race, but I would feel comfortable placing it firmly in like maybe the top of the B tier here if I could be so inclined. Into the Wild Blue. I like it. Side flip into wall jump. But it's kind of too easy. It's consistent. There's no stakes for failing. I think it's got to be like in the C tier. It's not even as like a high stakes as the owl, because the owl has a little bit of like air travel time. If you mess it up, you lose a lot. Wild Blue, if you mess it up, you're like, okay, 6 seconds down, I just set up the side flip again. Now, Mips, I have to set aside my personal feelings here. It's a definitive element of the run. Like, you can't just watch The Matrix and be like, great movie, but I hate Morpheus. Like, you'd have to answer some follow-up questions. There's 2 components here. Catching Mips and also clipping. The clipping, now that I've done it more, the clipping is not really a problem. It takes a couple tries. I think what everybody runs into trouble with, myself included, is that you go, like, you don't think about doing the safest clip possible until you failed like 3 times. I'm always like, I'm gonna do it fast. I'm gonna do it fast. I'm gonna do it fast. Then after I failed 3 times, I'm like, okay, let's do it the right way. If I just did it the right way every time, I think I would have like at least a 66% repeating, of course, success rate. Sometimes you place them a little bit too far to a side. Sometimes you don't rotate Mario enough. But I think that the clip itself is impressive and also, I mean, a defining element of the run. Catching Mips, very annoying, but I don't see how I couldn't put this in the S tier. Like these are defining elements of the Super Mario 64 speedrun. Let's be honest, like Toad is a D tier star. The thing that's great about Toad is just how much chat pogs up when you punch him accidentally. But like you literally, what are you talking about? You know, shock face. It's the freest star you could ever imagine. It's also annoying, and like you don't do anything. You literally just walk up to him and like press a button. This is like, it's the worst star in the game. I look forward to it because it's free, but it's the worst star in the game. The Bowser levels, look, he is your only friend in the game, but like his star is not that impressive, okay? Bowser levels, let me start here. Bowser 1, I'm not exactly an expert. I'm going to place it in the B tier though. I think there's minimal, it's a good level, but there's minimal opportunities for schmovement, and it gives you a chance at the very least to build some confidence on throwing Bowser, because this is like tutorial Bowser. Bowser 2, I don't feel comfortable putting any of the Bowsers in the S tier, I think, but I think Bowser 2 is like high A tier. Like, especially once you get the lava schmovement down and you realize that there's so many opportunities to like touch the lava, to not have to use a pole, touch the lava to skip over like so much of the level. I love Bowser 2 now because like you spend half of your time not even touching the platforms. Bowser 3, I see a lot of people saying like it's S tier. Explain your case, okay? Explain yourself. 2 does have the sick Chibli grind too. The one where you instead of long jumping across the like moguls, you just go for the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater on the left side. The nerves, everything's on the line. It's the finale. There's a couple Simones. Climactic battle. I mean, I'm always a sucker for the end of a game. The Maw in Halo 1. I mean, Bowser 3 has like 10 tricks you don't even know about. Yeah. That's true. Look, all right, you've made me a little bit rethink myself. I wasn't going to place it low, but I'm willing to place Bowser 3 right next to Bowser 2. I am unwilling to place it above Bowser 2 right now, but I will place it next to Bowser 2. It's the dream level because it's the one where you set the record. Well, yeah, you set the record on every star. It's just that one happens to have the privilege of going last. The more you learn, the more Bowser 3 would move up on the list. Possibly. You might be right. You ran the perfect line to get a sub 30, and it felt darn good. Can I tell you, it felt darn good? Please move Bowser 1 up so they can be together. Look, it's just, what does Bowser 1 have that compares to the pageantry of deliberately long jumping into the lava to skip the 3-pole shuffle? It's got nothing, right? Like you do a couple long jumps where you cut corners or something like that. Red coin star? Dude, you know what would be an awesome flex? What if you took Toad out of your 16-star run to put Bowser 1 red coins in it. Can you even do that, or do you need to talk to Toad to get Mips no matter what? Because I don't know anything about the game. No, take out the Dory star? What's the Dory star? Is this the Dory star? The Finding Nemo Return the Penguin back? The elevator clip? I wouldn't be caught dead taking out elevator clip. Know your place. Elevator clip's up here in the S tier. Take out tower? Unfortunately, I don't think you could take out tower because you need tower is needed to get owl. Apollo already cut elevator already? Then Apollo was truly lost. He's lost his way, and instead of optimizing for fun, he's optimizing for time, which can be fun in its own right. But if I ever take out the elevator clip on my run, I'll know that I've gone too deep down the rabbit hole. You could cut the tower, do the red coins, and learn Owless instead. I guess you could. I guess you could. I guess you could Yeah, as long as Chib still does it. I'm a simple man. If Chib has fans, I'm one of them. If Chib has 2 fans, I'm 50% of his fan base. If Chib has 1 fan, you know it's me. If Chib has no fans, then I must be dead, because I will always be a fan of Chib for life. Truing. If he ever betrays elevator clip, though, I'm out, unsubbed. Anyway, this is my tier list. I think it's fair. The only thing, you know what? I'm actually going to do you a favor. Now that I look at the S tier, elevator clip should be in the A tier. Because this, like these 2 things right here, even though they're not stars, they are the speedrun. These are like this is like Neo and Trinity, and this is Morpheus. The numbers don't really work, but then, okay, it's Tank, Cypher. Well, so we kind of need an Agent Smith up here as well. So we need, like, you know, you get the doesn't really work. Okay, this is like Frodo and Sam, and then, you know, like this is Tom Bombadil. That's all I'm trying to say. So I think elevator clip in the A tier is fine. My mana curve is a little fricked up, but you know what? I don't feel comfortable disrespecting any of the other stars. I would not curve this downwards like a hated college professor. I wouldn't disrespect Super Mario 64. So many of these stars are classic that I got nothing negative to say about them. So I'm just going to throw in a slash marker and say thanks for watching, slash marker Super Mario 64.